That was a different kind of performance by the Toronto Raptors as they came out in this one and dominated the New York Knicks 116-101. However, most of that was just not even in question. I mean, the Raptors dominated when their starters were on the court. They were up one after the first quarter. Then had they won by 14 in the second quarter. So they had a really good lead going into the second half. And then they won the third quarter 27-8. The Raptors did a fantastic job defensively in the early goings, and in the third quarter, obviously only giving up 8 points, and they only held the Knicks to 42%, which was very good. They did a great job. Plus, the Raptors shot 49%, so they shot well in themselves, 87% from the line. So they looked very good there. But the man that has been playing very, very well of late, there's been a couple of them actually, and they played great today. DeMarre Carroll had 20 points in this game. He shot 7 of 13 for 53%. And he had 20 points and 2 boards. I mean, he had a fantastic game. Only played 27 minutes, so did a great job in that time span. And also the big man himself, Jonas Valanciunas, 12 points and 16 rebounds in 28 minutes. He did very good. That's his third straight double-double. And he looked very good in this one. Obviously shooting 6 of 11 for 54%. That's more like JV. He looked very good early on. I mean, he was dynamite, right? He looked very, very good early on, and just a great job by the big man. Kyle Lowry doing Kyle Lowry thing as usual. Only had 16 points. However, he did have 9 assists, and a steal and a block. Kyle Lowry doing small things that helps teams win. That's why we love it. DeMar DeRozan had 23 points in 28 minutes, so they didn't get the 30 plus they usually get because they didn't need to. They looked very good. DeMar DeRozan also with 5 boards and 5 assists to go along with his 23 points. Norman Powell off the bench in 24 minutes. He had 21 points. Norman Powell was fantastic. 7 of 13 shooting. Really, really happy with him. And T. Ross had 12 off the bench himself. Again, like we've always said, the bench has to be big. And they were in this one, but more or less it was the starters and the defense from the starters. They looked very good all game long, and they came away with the win. We said in the last video that this was the stretch the Raptors needed to take advantage of and win just about, if not, every single game they play, right? As much as that's not really a tough stretch when you're playing teams like Brooklyn. They played the Knicks today. You play Brooklyn again. Then you go to Philly. Now, I understand Philly's playing pretty good ball right now, but the Raptors are the Raptors. I think they can still find a way to beat them. That should be another 2 win. That should be 5 straight wins, right? And then you go to Charlotte, who's not playing too well right now. Maybe that's a winnable game, right? And then you're home to take on the Phoenix Suns, who are not very good this year, but find a way to beat the Raptors all the time. So a lot of winnable games coming up, but the Raptors have to do their thing and take it game by game and get the wins, right? Raptors have now won 3 straight after not playing so great, but they've had some favorable scheduling, obviously beating the Celtics, but then you play Brooklyn and the Knicks. That's fine, because you got to play them. So they've won 3 in a row, and, just a great game today. The Raptors needed a game where they started well and ended with the starters well. How about we put it that way, right? Because I don't think the starters played any of the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken, because Raptors were up by almost 40 points at that point. But what the Raptors got to take out of this is that, lately, at least the last few games, they've been kind of like in the first half, but in the fourth quarter, late third throughout the fourth quarter, that's when they come on and find ways to grind out wins. That's not the way you should be playing, especially against a team you should be beating by a decent margin, like the Knicks, like the Nets. But they did their job in this one. They came out and established it early that we were going to play some better defense. I'm not going to say great because they weren't fantastic except the third quarter, but they were better than usual defensively. And holding the Knicks to under or 101 points, I understand the whole NBA has changed. The whole 90 to 80 score. Yeah, it rarely happens anymore. We've noticed that. and holding a team to just over 100 points, 101, especially when they scored 39 points in the fourth quarter, mainly, if not most of them, against the bench guys. The Raptors played very good ball today. We can all be very happy with this win. It's not a game where you're like, well, you're just playing a crappy team, or, on paper, a not so great team, right? But you got to get the win, and you got to do it the right way. They didn't do it the right way against Brooklyn, but they got the win. They did it the right way in this one, and they got the result they deserved. A W, and that's all we can take from this. The Raptors are now 27-13, so they're playing pretty good ball. They're 14 games over 500, and a few games above their pace from last season. I think they were 25-15. I'm not mistaken, at this point last year. So they're doing very, very well this season. And if anybody wants to know the standings with Cleveland and all, we're 2.5 back at this point. Doesn't really matter. The Raptors have to do their job, right? We can't focus on what other teams do. We got to do what we can control, and that is win games, and that is what they did tonight. So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you guys enjoyed the video, hey, hit that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys haven't already. And, that really shows the love to me, and it means a lot to see you guys subscribe. Comment down below, guys, what you thought of the game. Who was your player of the game in this one? Who would you give it to? Would you give it to JV? He was a huge piece tonight. Would you give it to Damari Carroll, who was fantastic tonight? It's a tough one, right? So that's going to be a doozy. And we'll talk to you guys, well, it's going to be Tuesday Night Leafs edition, Leafs and Sabres. I will be at that game, so it will be a later video. And also, Raptors edition, Raptors, Nets. It's in the Leaf game. It will be a later video. So, but they will be out that night. Don't worry about it. And we'll talk to you guys. Actually, you know what? Before I cut it off, tomorrow, if possible, if I am able to, which is most likely, I'm not going to guarantee anything, there will most likely, possibly, be a Blue Jays video tomorrow, just because there's been a few arbitration things going on and some more talks going on. So we'll break all that down tomorrow, guys. It will be out tomorrow, maybe in the early evening, maybe around this time tomorrow. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes. But nonetheless, we'll talk to you guys possibly tomorrow night. We'll talk to you guys Tuesday night, Leafs and Raptors edition. We'll talk to you guys then. See ya.